But let's go across to our guests now. Ashish Tate of FortuneWizard.com, Shubham Agarwal of Motilal Oswal, Siddharth Bhamre of Angel Broking join in now to give us their view on the markets. Shubham, let me start off with you. It's been good going for the Nifty. In fact, it's sitting at a 2-month high now. Would you recommend a long position in trade today?
Yeah, hi, good morning. If you look at the movement for Nifty on a medium-term scale, we do see a downward sloping channel getting formed, which is indicating that we might see a resistance around the level of 8450 to 8500. So overall, if you look at the current setup, the reward to risk is not that lucrative. Most of the momentum indicators within the dual distribution pattern that we see there is approaching towards the resistance zone. So we have some upside left, but then the reward to risk is not very favorable because if we have to take a long position here and keep a stop loss, then that would be at 8065. So my recommendation would be that if someone is already holding a long position, they can stay on with that for a target 8450, but to create fresh long position, we should wait. If at all we do see a pullback below 8150, then I think the reward to risk would be favorable to go and take a trade.
Okay. At what point will you go long? You said only when it goes towards 8400?
No, I said 8450 is the upside that we see, but because the reward to risk is not very favorable, so we should just remain with the long position if we all are already holding that. But to create fresh position, I think 8150 would be an ideal level to participate.
Fair enough. Okay, 8150. Well, that explains why you don't seem to have a lot of long calls within the Nifty itself. You have just one, Bosch. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, so Bosch, if you look at the overall setup there, that's a consolidation on the medium-term scale that we see, and we have already seen a rebound happening from the support level. So we expect that the medium-term trend remains positive, and we'll see an oscillation happening within that larger band. So 23,500 is the short-term target that we expect on Bosch, and a stop loss for the same can be kept at 19,900.
Okay, so that's the word on Bosch. The other stock that you have a buy on is Divi's Laboratories from the pharmaceutical space. The space itself has come back into action. So what kind of an upside do you see on Divi's today?
Right, so if you look at yesterday's movement, after the doji that was formed on the daily chart, we have seen a follow-up buying coming in yesterday, and that is giving us confidence that the short-term trend might remain positive. Now we have seen the sectoral performance that pharma has been outperforming Nifty, and so far we don't have any signs of exhaustion happening there. So combined, all of these views, we expect that Divi's Lab has potential to move towards 1210, and a stop loss for the same can be kept at 1040.
Well, actually yesterday was not a great day for the bank Nifty. It lost 1/3%. It didn't help the Nifty at all. What's the trend there? Is there a short? Is there no trade or a long?
I would say a no trade zone, because the market overall is heading higher, and Bank Nifty is definitely losing momentum, and we have seen that the level of 18,000 to 18,200 is the area from where it broke down earlier, and now it is stuck around that same level. So I think in the near term it would be difficult to take a trade there, because unless and until Nifty sees a reversal happening, we cannot even go short there. But the upside is definitely very limited in the banking names. Even if we dig down and see the movement in SBI, that is around the exhaustion level. Axis Bank has a cap up to 540, then ICICI it has a resistance level. So I think overall we might see a time correction happening around this level. 18,200 is the cap that we see on Bank Nifty, and probably once Nifty tops out, then we can look for creating some trade in the Bank Nifty.
Okay. Well, stay on, Shubham. Let me get Siddharth Bhamre as well into this conversation. Good morning, Siddharth. Your take on the Nifty?
Hi, Lata. FIs are giving conflicting signals through their data of what they're doing in our markets. Initially, we saw that there was hardly any cash which buying in this upward move, which started from sub 7600. But then slowly, steadily, they started buying in index futures in a very small quantity with very small rise in open interest, which was not very significant to generate significant buy calls. Now, since last 3-4 trading sessions, we are seeing that whatever long positions they have been forming since beginning of this series, or say since sub 7600 levels, those positions, long index futures positions, they have been squaring off, and we thought that probably selling figure would start trickling in cash market, where they have been again nibbling 300 crores, 100 crores, 500 crores on daily basis. But yesterday's figure of of 900 crore again, it's a significant figure on the cash market segment. So we are laboring this upside move, and we are not seeing any very significant formation of long positions which would suggest that go long and you would see big upside from current levels. So I'll concur with the technical expert that this is no trade zone for Nifty, but at the same time a lot of people have gone long in stocks. Not many people are short at this point of time in stocks. Some people are stuck in index short positions from lower levels. So what I would suggest at this point of time is buy 80 to 100 put option around 40 to 45 rupees, and hedge your long positions which you have. Also, it is quite possible that if we have one negative day in remaining of the time left for this expiry, this call can easily get in the money. So we are suggesting to buy 80 to 100 put option for current series around 40 to 45. But this is not with the context in mind that there will be a significant fall which would come immediately. Data is not suggesting that as of now.
Okay, fair enough. Shubham, another stock that you've picked up for us in the broader markets is Amara Raja Batteries. What's the target price you're looking at there?
Yes, so we did see a consolidation happening on the short-term chart, and that's a kind of a continuation pattern that we have seen there. And relatively, the stock has outperformed the broader market, and we have seen even during bad times there was not big correction happening there. So I think given the fact that the volumes have started rising and we have seen a good momentum coming in yesterday, so we expect that this move should continue to the level of 1100, and a stop loss for the same can be kept at 974.
All right. Siddharth, do you have a trade in Bank Nifty as well?
Bank Nifty, Lata, if you have observed, it was struggling to cross this resistance of around 600-800 zone. And now what we have seen that after breakout, we are not seeing follow-up buying. We are again seeing some of the weakness which is trickling in names like ICICI Bank from higher levels. We haven't seen any major formation of long positions. The bellwether of stock HDFC Bank is not showing that kind of momentum which would take Bank Nifty significantly higher. Axis Bank remain the weakest spot in this space. So these names are not showing, are not encouraging us to create long position, despite Bank Nifty has gone slightly above its resistance zone. At the same time, the other component of this index, which is PSU space, is showing some signs that there is not much of downside from current levels. So if you look at stocks like SBI, PNB, and to some extent like Bank of India, Union Bank, these stocks are not correcting significantly. Otherwise, we have always seen that even a small correction in market, these stocks had gone significantly down. So if somebody wants to take some exposure on the long side in this index, I would prefer to suggest that look at these PSU names, especially PNB and SBI.
Okay, well, Ashish Tater is also with us, and he has picked up two long-term ideas for our viewers. So let's get him into the conversation. Ashish, hi, good morning. The first stock you've picked up for us is Ballarpur Industries. What's the story there?
Good morning, Sonia. I think Ballarpur now is available at a very attractive valuation and is no-brainer. If you see the recent exit of the Sabah Malaysian Forest holding that they had, the company will lose some 800 odd crore of sales in consolidated terms. That means that for this year they will be doing somewhere around 4,200 odd crores. But what interests me is the debt reduction that will take place. So on a consolidated basis, they will kick off approximately 2,000 to 2,200 odd crore of debt. So if you remove the perpetual debt part, the company is sitting on close to 3,500 odd crore of debt by December, because that's when the deal will close. So you are taking a company which will do a 20% EBITDA, around 850 crore for next year. available at a market cap of 1100 odd crores, and even if you add back that, this is one company in the paper industry which we feel is terribly underpriced. Though the growth momentum is not there, but the cash flow generation will be super strong because there is no capex planned for next 2 years. So that will streamline that cash flows will streamline in reducing debt, and we see further 500 to 700 odd crores on conservative side, and to a higher side of approximately 1000 crore of debt reduction over next 2 to 3 years. So when we try to take an overall enterprise value with something like International Paper deal, we feel this stock can easily rise by 100%, but we are waiting for certain more triggers. So right now we are taking a target of 28 rupees, 25 to 28 rupees as first target and 35 rupees as second target over next 6 to 8 months perspective. So this is one stock where we feel the company in the past has done buybacks whenever there has been strong cash flow streamlined. So that can be done again this time. The promoters have not been selling. They have absorbed in last 5 years. They have done I guess 2 buybacks somewhere between 23-24 rupees and 28 rupees. So that's going to be a key trigger going forward. And we feel company is available at a PE of 5 times going forward, which is relatively underpriced given the context right now the company will be in terms of balance sheet.
Okay, that's something like a multi-bagger that Ashish has pulled up for us. But one stock that has rewarded shareholders a goodish bit over the past several years has been SKS Micro, and it turned in a superb set of numbers besides improving its guidance yesterday. Parag Jariwala, the VP Institutional Research, Banking and Financial Services at Religare Capital Markets, joins us to talk about the stock. Parag, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. Your first take on SKS as well its guidance.
Well, I think the results were definitely stunning, and it has much surpassed everyone's expectations. I think also in terms of the guidance, I think they've revised their PAT guidance from 235 CR to 290 CR for FY16. That is like around 20-25% increase in guidance, which is the overall number, and they are going to achieve in the next 6 months. So, I mean, no doubts about the numbers. I mean, which were fairly surprising on the positive side. So.
Okay, Parag, morning. So, what is your view on the stock itself? Because the stock has fallen about 25% from its 52-week highs of 580 thereabouts. Given that this quarter's numbers are so strong and the management has raised its guidance, how much of an upside do you see for the stock?
No, so sorry, but we have a negative view on the stock because we remain of the thesis that the unsecured lending business which they are into can't be done without a credit cost assumption. So if you see today, their NPL levels are only 0.1, 0.2%, which shouldn't be the case. And going forward, I think NPLs will go up. I think 80% growth in the unsecured segment will lead to some kind of higher NPLs or such kind of situation.
Okay. Well, Parag, isn't there a danger that SKS's competition, say Equitas, Ujjivan, Janalakshmi, will all come with small bank licenses and therefore be able to raise cheaper money and lend cheaper? Is there a threat to SKS's growth numbers 2 years down the line? Maybe not FY17 because people will still be implementing their license, but FY18?
Indeed, Lata, because what is the situation currently, or maybe around 3-4 months before when the licenses were not announced, is that the SKS and another top 2-3 microfinance institutions used to have around 200-300 basis point of cost advantage as compared to the rest of the guy. Now what will happen 2 years down the line, that 8 odd microfinance player will have maybe say 100 or 150 basis point cost advantage as compared to SKS. So definitely there would be a drastic reduction in yields in this business, and which can impact their growth, margin or profitability in maybe 1 or 2 years down the line, as you said.
So what is your own expectation as far as profits are concerned for SKS in FY16 and FY17? You think they'll be able to meet this guidance of 290 crores?
See, overall they may, but we are also assuming 1.5% of credit cost for both FY16 and 17. So our numbers are pretty low, at least around 10-15% lower than what they are guiding.
Okay, so your target price is 320. You still maintain that?
Yeah, we maintain that.
Okay, fair enough. The other stock that you track closely is Shrey Infrastructure. You know, we understand that American Tower Corp will acquire the telecom towers of Viom Network, and Shrey will sell their 18.5% stake to ATC. How do you approach the stock now?
Sorry, but we don't cover the stock.
No, you don't cover, but would you want to just give an opinion in terms of whether that improves Shrey, considering that it will be, some free cash that will come in?
Yeah, indeed, because see what happens with particularly with SREI is that they have interest in many of the ventures, like maybe telecom or some road projects, equity contribution in road projects. So, what maybe the clients or the investors like to see is that, they get out of those, non-core business and concentrate on their core lending business. If that happens, it's definitely good for the stock.
All right, Parag, we leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us. That's a word coming in from Religare Capital Markets. They're negative on SKS Microfinance.
Actually, Ashish Tate, since you're a Calcutta boy, Shrey may have crossed your path. Are you looking at the Shrey stock at all? And you have any comment that they have been that they are imminently going to sell their 18.5% stake in Viom for to American Tower Company, and probably are going to make some 2,600 crores on that?
Yeah, this stock was covered and in fact recommended at 39 odd levels for a target of 70-75. We still maintain the same view on this particular stock. The thing is that we factored in this particular valuation. In fact, I am slightly disappointed because we were working somewhere around 23,000 crore of EV on conservative side for the deal, but it works out to be 28,000 odd crore, so that's 10-15% discount.
Okay. Shubham, the other space that has once again come back into action is the oil marketing companies. You have a buy on HPCL for the morning?
Yes, we have been recommending this for quite some time, and if you look at the stock chart, then the consolidation seems to be very mature, and we have seen a movement happening from there. So roughly 750 was a very important support for the stock, which it held quite well, and now we have seen a momentum coming in. So I think overall the sector has also been doing well, and we expect that the stock can move towards 910. So that's the first target that we see on Hindustan Petro, and the stop loss for the same can be kept at the recent swing low, which is at 765.
Okay, Siddharth, any specific strategy you would have on Reliance today?
Lata, though the stock went up by 5.5% and volumes were pretty decent, we didn't observe any formation of long position in this counter in future segment. At the same time, without getting too much into fundamentals, that GRMs seem to be topped out because of the change in product mix. So looking at the environment where crude is not going to go up significantly and probably starts its journey down again, not a very optimistic scenario for Reliance, despite results have been good. And that is evident from lack of formation of long positions despite good results. So I think 980,000 to top, not significant upside from current levels. Probably for a week or two the stock may outperform, but if somebody is expecting substantial run up from current levels, I think that person would be disappointed.
Okay, well, just one more word before we go into a break. Shubham, have you looked at the SKS Micro stock? Despite the fact that Religare had a very negative view on this stock and they still have a sell, the results have been stunning. Chartically, what is the stock telling you?
If you look at the development yesterday, then with rising volume, we saw that the stock saw some resistance and it failed to sustain at a higher level. So not a very big development there, but I would believe that once it is able to surpass the level of 465, then we can look to build some long positions there. But till that does not happen, I think the stock might remain under pressure. But again, we don't have a big downside that we expect. 410, 415 is the short-term support where it should again stabilize.
Is it active in FNOs, Siddharth?
Yeah, it is one of the active counter among the mid-cap spaces, Lata, but then it's difficult to gauge the kind of positions, and you have some or other news pertaining to this counter and the space. So I refrain myself for doing too much research over there. But yes, it's an active counter in FNO space.
Okay, one stock that you have picked up for the day, Siddharth, is TCS. So you have a buy on that. The stock is actually down about 5% in the month of October. You think the worst is over in the near term?
Seems like, Sonia. What we have observed that since last 1.5 years, the stock has been in a very narrow range of 300 points, though it's a 10% range. But quality stock for last 1.5 year underperforming market. Not exactly underperforming, but has been in the range, and it is now on the lower side of the range. Even if you look at CNX IT index, it is showing that probably the correction which started a couple of weeks back seems to be over. We have seen yesterday good bounce back in HCL Tech. I think TCS may not have significant downside from current levels. We have seen huge formation of short positions from 2650, 2700 odd levels. And it's near to a very strong support of 2450. So I would suggest that it's prudent to take a bit of risk and have some long positions in TCS. I'm not saying that it's going to break out the upside range, but within the range it is on the lower side of the range and would now move towards the high side of the range. So we don't have very aggressive target prices, but 2600 plus is what I'm expecting, and fix the stop loss somewhere around 2430 and go long.
All right, stay on with us, gentlemen. We have some more trading ideas that we would like our viewers to take advantage of. They are coming for you in Super 6.
My first pick is NIIT Limited. It has given a good breakout above the important resistance of 95 on a daily basis with good volumes on daily chart. Hence, I recommend a buy with a stop of 97 for targets of 112. My second pick is Voltas. It has broken above the resistance of 280 on a daily closing basis. Momentum has entered into bullish zone. Hence, I recommend a buy with a stop of 275 for targets of 299.
I have a buy call on Tatacom. Tatacom has formed a bullish triangular pattern over last couple of weeks, and the pattern has been formed above its crucial daily moving averages, which are there to provide support to the counter. So I have a buy call on Tatacom with stop loss of 419 and target will be 452. My second pick is M&M Finance. M&M Finance is in a bearish phase since last few months. However, the stock now looks poised for a short-term pullback. Even the short-term momentum indicators are pointing towards a bounce. And as per wave structure, the equality target for the bounce comes to 249 and stop loss for the bullish view can be placed at 230.
The first stock we have picked up is Britannia, which has continued to move higher and has formed a very important low near around 3150. After forming that pivot low, it has sharply moved higher with a strong momentum, so it's better to stay with this outperformer, and the stop loss on the stock will be 3200 and the target we can expect around 3450 on upside. Second stock which will be in buy is Dr. Reddy. This stock has been moving independent to the overall equity market and has been touching new 52-week high. So it's better to buy Dr. Reddy with at CMP with a stop loss of 4275 and the target we can see around 4450 levels on upside.
Express headlines of the hour. Brought to you by Berger Express Painting, the faster, cleaner and better way to paint your home.
Welcome back to the show. Well, Asia is not in such a great place this morning. Many of the Asian markets are actually trading with cuts of about 0.5%. I'm talking about the Hong Kong and the Chinese markets. They should come up for you on your screen. The SGX Nifty is also largely flat with a bit of a negative bias. So let's see whether we can get to that hurdle of 8,300 and cross that effectively. Lots of stocks to talk about. So let's go across to our guests. Siddharth, we were asking you your strategy on TCS that you spoke about, but the other one from the heavyweights that you have a buy on is HUL today. Take us through that.
Well, HUL I have not been very bullish plus 900 plus levels, and the higher levels we did initiate short positions. Now after results, stock gave away the strong support of around 800, 810, but looks like there's not much of downside, and there are a decent amount of short positions which are standing with negative news behind. Negative news in the sense people didn't like results. I think those shorts would start getting covered, and probably at higher levels, some high beta space, people would like to go short as Nifty is struggling to go at higher levels. That's the reason I'm suggesting that there can be a short covering rally in HUL. We are not very aggressively suggesting to buy, but then yes, it can bounce back to its recent levels of 840. So fix a tight stop loss and go long for that kind of target.
Okay, how many seconds do we have for the markets to open? Okay, we have a minute, so let's get to Ashish's other possible multi-bagger, tourism finance.
Yes, Lata. In fact, I was reading the World Tourism and Travel Report, and it contributes 8 to 15 billion rupees of to the total GDP directly and indirectly, which is more than the mining and 4 times bigger than automotive industry. I think the extension of Swachh Bharat over the years will be directly related to tourism, because that is what the PM is pushing for: Clean India, Clean Ganga, and that will increase tourism. So I think there is a lot of potential for this particular stock. It is something like 2005 of LIC Housing Finance. If the company is able to do well in terms of balance sheet, we think that there is a huge re-rating available in this particular stock. If you see the technical snapshot as well as the fundamental perspective, I'll just highlight 3 important points. If you see the return on assets, it's 4.2%, which is higher in the industry, especially in the PSU space. The NPA that we are looking at, GNPA, 3.2%, of which a bigger portion, that 440 odd million of INR, is basically because of 2 accounts. And they when we actually took on the management, they said that the asset is covered by 2 times the provision, so they will be easily able to recover this asset. When we looked into the balance sheet size, 478 crore, 180 crore is unproductive investment in terms of mutual funds given to IFCI, and small investments in IFCI and other investments. So we feel like 300 odd crore on adjusted market cap going forward, the company will do close to 80 crore of PAT going forward, which is roughly 10 rupees of EPS. So if the company, if the 12% CAGR and higher return on assets and higher net interest margin, and this unproductive means, if you look at the balance sheet, they are just 2.5x leveraged. Okay. So they can easily increase their leverage part also. So that's where we feel this is a huge potential and can be a good compounder going forward.
Okay, I'm sorry I had to interrupt you. It's just that the opening rates came in. Ashish, we'll come back to you on this topic. The Sensex and the Nifty have opened with 1/3 of a percentage point and cut, and the rupee is open marginally weaker. About the dollar is about 15 paise more expensive. Rupee opening closer to the 65 mark, which would be such a relief for the Reserve Bank of India. Yesterday they had to come in and buy up a lot of dollars to prevent too much of rupee appreciation. But the Sensex and the Nifty still in correction mode. Let's see where they settle down, but it does look like a mild red tick can't be ruled out. There is a little more red in the Asian skies than there is green, and that's bound to have its impact, though we could be relative outperformers considering that crude is moving in India's favor. But at the moment it's an extremely dibbly-dobbly market, not giving away anything by way of direction just yet. Let me get to our experts just once again on this Nifty trades. Shubham, is there any point at which you will short the Nifty at all, or ask people to sell their longs?
I don't think so in the near term, because if you look at the overall movement, there is no sign of an exhaustion happening there. So we need some concrete pattern to get formed, whether that would be a kind of a buying climax or a bearish engulfing or something like that, which has not taken place so far. And given the fact that there's a downward sloping channel that we are seeing on Nifty, where the resistance is roughly around the level of 8450, so I think I would wait for taking a short trade because of lack of evidence, and only once Nifty is around that level, then we can review, and then we can think about taking a reversal trade from there. And
your long trade started 8150, if I remember right.
Yes, so 8150 would be an ideal level to go and participate, with the stop loss at 8065.
All right. Well, in pre-opening, there are a couple of stocks that do deserve mention. One is SKS Microfinance, which is seeing a big boost in pre-opening on the back of very good numbers and the company raising its profit guidance. So SKS Microfinance should come up for you on your screens in just a bit. There you have it. A 10% upside to that stock is what you can expect today. Apart from that, you do have names like Hindustan Zinc and Motilal Oswal that also reported very good numbers yesterday post-market hours. So those are stocks that will also trade in the green this morning, as you can see on your screen. But back to individual stock ideas then. Siddharth, you have a sell call on Tata Steel today. Is it only Tata Steel that is a short selling idea, or is it prudent to even sell other names like Vedanta, Hindalco, etc.?
I would concentrate on Tata Steel, though I believe that the pack, combined pack, may not have substantial upside from current levels. Now, this entire upside move, be it Tata Steel or other metal counters, started when Fed decided not to, hike the interest rates, but then send a strong message that it would probably do it in December for sure. Which resulted into, dollar weakening a bit, or rather than just retracing would be a right word rather than weakening, which led, these commodities to go up, including crude. And now, as we, are reaching towards October and I think from November again, these stocks would start and dollar would start appreciating. And I don't think so RBI governor would have to do too much to hold on to the rupee appreciation as well. In this context, I'm seeing that Tata Steel kind of stock may not do well. In fact, last two trading sessions, we have already seen traces of formation of short positions at higher levels. 250, 260 is kind of strong resistance for the counter. There are some moving averages which are coming there. I think counter can be shorted at current levels with a target somewhere around 218, 220 in mind. Fix a stop somewhere around 262 and go short over here, and I prefer Tata Steel over Hindalco or Vedanta at this point of time for shorting. For shorting,
okay. Well, let's go with your other buy in the mid-cap space. Exide, you can take us through it again.
Yeah, so Exide, when it was correcting a couple of weeks back, Lata, though it was not a very big correction, we saw a huge formation of short positions around 155, 160 zone. And now again, stock is not correcting much and has last two trading sessions seen good bounce back. And on charts also it's looking good. Clearly feels that there is a short covering which may happen in this counter. We are not suggesting to go aggressive in mid caps or aggressively going long in mid caps at this kind of market. But sometimes, the less risk and decent reward kind of ideas do pop up. And Exide is one among them at this point of time. I'm expecting an upside till 165, 168. So fixed stop somewhere around 149 and go long over here.
Okay, well, there is a stock AB Money. This perhaps is not the right time to speak about it because it wouldn't be trading in pre-market, but AB Money is the stock I'm talking about, and maybe we should pull up a 6-month or 1 year of that chart. Shubham, has it ever come into your radar? The last 4-5 weeks, actually, from mid-September has been extremely kind to the stock. It's zoomed from about sub 20 level, actually from 18 to 28. That's over a 50% gain.
Yeah, so officially we don't cover the stock, and I've never come across this, but if I just look at the raw chart, I believe 33 could be the next level to watch on the upside.
Okay, well, that's the word on AB Money, but a couple of more stocks that do deserve mention in pre-opening. One of them is Gati, which reported quite a weak set of numbers, and the stock in pre-opening is down almost about 3% odd. Remember, the profits have fallen 16% for Gati this quarter, and that's what's taking the stock lower as well, as you can see. The other one to watch for is Shrey Infrastructure. That one is up 7% in pre-opening on the back of news flow that we were just talking about in extensive detail, the fact that American Tower Corp will acquire the telecom towers of Viom network. But let's get you some more trading ideas. On our bullseye corner, we have Meghna Malkan, Jay Thakkar and Manav Chopra, who have been battling it out for the strongest portfolio. So let's hear out what they've picked up for today.
My first call is a continued buy call on Dish TV with a stop of 103 for a target of 114. My second call is also a continued buy call on NIIT Limited with a stop of 92 and a target of 110. My third call is a buy on Shriram Transport Limited with a stop of 955 and a target of 979. And my fourth call is a buy on Tanla Solutions Limited with a stop of 32.70 and a target of 36.
The first one is on Infratel. One can buy this stock for a target of 436 with a stop loss of 407.50. Second is a buy call on Allahabad Bank. One can buy this for a target of 81.70 with a stop loss of 77.55. Third is a buy call on PVR. One can buy this for a target of 883 with a stop loss of 848.50. And the final buy call is on IRB. One can buy this for a target of 287 with a stop loss of 264.
My first buy call is on UPL. Maintain a stop loss of 475 for an upside target of 510. My second buy call is on Britannia Industries. Maintain a stop loss of 3270 for an upside target of 3380. My third call is buy on FDC. Maintain a stop loss of 245 for an upside target of 268. And my fourth call is buy on Ajanta Pharma. Maintain a stop loss of 1540 for an upside target of 1640.
Okay, those are the trading ideas coming in from our bullseye participants, but let's get back to our own guests now. Siddharth, you know, the stocks that have been doing exceptionally well in the last fortnight has been the entire pharmaceutical space. In fact, even in the pre-opening rates, you have names like Lupin, which are giving you big gains, up about 1.5%, Sun Pharma, DRL2, back in the green. What are the top names that you would trade in pharma today?
Yeah, your observation is right that these stocks are doing good. You know, on charts it may appear that Dr. Reddy's has, given you a fresh breakout above its 52-week high. Even Lupin is near its 52-week high. What we are liking in this space is Glenmark. If you look at Glenmark, we haven't seen huge formation of short positions, and now the upside move has again started from lower levels. So from risk-reward ratio perspective, if I want to take exposure in this space, purely from trading angle and not from investment angle, is Glenmark. I'm expecting that the stock can bounce back to 1100, 1120 odd levels, and stop losses are not very far. You can keep stop loss somewhere around 1005 rupees.
Okay. Well, there are a couple of these big bouncers in the market. Shubham, I wanted your views. If you have a strategy, an intraday strategy on any of these stocks, IFCI, every now and then it gives you these bounces, and yesterday for concocted reasons it was rising. In fact, it's been rising over the past few weeks. As well, say Amtech Auto, there of course there seems to be some solid development in terms of fundamental development in terms of the company's ability to pay back bonds that it was likely to default on. But either of these momentum boys, any trade?
So Amtech Auto, the overall trend still remains down, and I see this consolidation that is happening. It's more like a continuation pattern. So even though we might have a temporary pullback happening there, but I would not recommend getting carried away in that movement. Even IFCI, we don't officially cover that, but this move that has started taking place yesterday, I think it could get extended to somewhere around 32 to 34. So another 3-4 rupees movement is what we see there. That's about 10-12%, and post that again this move should get exhausted. So the longer term chart is not that lucrative. I think it's more of a very short term movement than is what a trader can look at. But surely both of the stocks are not looking good with a medium term perspective.
All right, Shubham, we'll let you go on that note. Thanks for giving us all of those trading ideas. Well, the market in pre-opening has settled higher by about 0.2%. So flat with a positive bias, but the Bank Nifty looks like once again it could drag the overall markets. In case you're wondering what Shubham Agarwal's strategies are, let's do a quick recap of them. He has 4 buy calls today, starting with Bosch with a target of 23,500 and a stop loss of 19,900. He also has a buy on HPCL with a target of 910 and a stop loss at 765. He also buys Amara Raja with a target of 1100 and a stop loss of 974. And his final buy call is on Divi's Laboratories, where he recommends placing a target of 1210 and a stop loss at 1040 rupees.
Okay, well actually at the moment there's a fairly decent performance coming in from Ultratech Cement as well. Its numbers were good, though on the bottom line it appeared that it was coming below estimates. That was more because of a tax outgo and lower other income. As far as revenues were concerned and volumes, well not so much volumes perhaps, but certainly revenues, the stock did well. Ashish Tate, any cement stock at all that you have your eye on?
Yeah, Gujarat Ambuja could be a safe bet at current levels where we feel 20-25 rupees along with our top pick Shree Cement. We have been recommending that stock from quite lower levels and we still feel another 2000 rupees is there in the offing.
Right. Ashish Tate, we'll thank you on that note for joining us. Siddharth, just a minute more, but before that, Sonia, you may want to recap some of the stocks at all.
Yes, let's in fact take a quick recap of Siddharth Bhamre's stock ideas for today. He recommends buying TCS with a target of 26.20, a stop loss of 24.30. He has Exide, which is also on his buy list, with a target of 168 and a stop loss of 149. HUL is also a buy with a target of 842 and a stop loss at 765. And finally, he has just one sell call for the day, and that's on Tata Steel with a target of 218 and a stop loss of 261. But there are many stocks that we as a team are looking at as well, and here they are. Watch out for Bharti Infratel and Shrey Infra. In a CNBC TV 18 exclusive, we understand from sources that American Tower Corp will be acquiring Telecom Tower Viome Networks.
Yeah, and that deal is expected to be signed tomorrow. It's been in the air for quite some time, but tomorrow is when it's likely to be signed. From the earnings corner, Hindustan Zinc will be reacting to a strong set of numbers on the back of a volume beat. SKS Micro too will react positively. I think it already is in pre-opening rates because of the stellar quarter as well as an additional kicker coming in with a higher profit guidance for FY16.
And Sasken Communications could also rise after posting a steady quarter with a healthy rise seen across key growth parameters. Motilal Oswal is likely to gain after a very strong quarter led by the outperformance of the fund-based businesses. That stock is up 5%, while Gati will be under pressure post a weak quarter with a 16% dip that we've seen in profitability.
And of course, on my radar will also be insurance stocks. Won't move the needle much on stocks like HDFC, Max, Bajaj Finserv. They are all owners of insurance companies. That's because the IRDA, the insurance regulator, has clarified that insurance companies' foreign partners can appoint, one director less than the number of directors appointed by the Indian half. The other rules that they've appointed is largely known, so perhaps not much will move on insurance companies, but just keep that on the radar. It's mildly a sentiment negative.
Alright, also watch out for further upmove on Nestle after Gujarat and Karnataka lifted the ban on the sale of Maggi. Lupin could also gain post the FIPB nod for raising up to 7,500 crores.
Hey, there goes the bell. That was a photo finish, Sonia. And what are the markets telling us? Very, very flat. The Nifty's first tick is actually a mild red, 0.03 down or 4 points down, now almost 5 points down. Well, it actually counts as a flat day with mid-caps holding up. But for the sheer pleasure of the 3-day rally, let me read the green stock first. Ultratech is the one that's up 1.2%, followed by Lupin, of course, which is also in the news for the right reasons, up 1%. Dr. Reddy's 0.8 higher. So pharma, like yesterday, is back in the reckoning. TCS is the next stock, and surprise, Bank of Baroda also doing well today, 1/3% higher. PNB 1/3% higher. So state-owned banks not doing badly at all. Probably a late reaction to our news, our exclusive news yesterday that the Discom reform is coming sooner rather than later, probably by the end of the month itself. Infosys is up 0.4, Power Grid up 0.1, HCL Tech flat to marginally in the green, HDFC Bank 0.15. Then what's keeping the bank Nifty lower? If so many of the bank stocks are in the green, then I think Yes Bank is down, cannot have much impact. Oh, it's the ICICI Bank that's down by 0.7, which is what is giving a slight red color to the bank Nifty itself. Others that are down, Vedanta. I mean, actually commodity stocks are not having their best of days today. So Vedanta is down 1%, ONGC is down about 1%. The sharp fall in crude is bound to affect both ONGC and Kane, which I guess also will have a mild red tick. Yes, about 0.5% down. Reliance is losing about 0.5%. So again, getting the commodity color on it. Among other stocks, ACC is down 0.8, Cipla down 0.8, BHEL 0.6 down, Tata Steel 0.7 down. Again, that was expected in the commodity downtick. But non-commodity stocks, BHEL, Bosch, Hero Moto, Hero Motors results are due today. All of them also down about 0.6%. But the good news is with Sonia, she's looking at some of the mid-cap stocks.
Oh yes, the mid-cap index is up about 0.3%. The market breadth is healthy today, 2:1 in favor of the advances. Shrey Infrastructure is your big gainer, up about almost 5%. The company will get almost 2,700 crores by selling its stake in Viom Networks to American Tower Corp. So that deal will take place tomorrow. Shrey in the green. SKS Microfinance, good numbers, up 4%. Motilal Oswal, good numbers, up 3%. You have Nestle India up almost about 2% Hindustan Zinc, strong earnings. The stock is in the green, almost about 2% or so. Yesterday we saw a lot of long positions getting added in some of these pharmaceutical names like Ajanta Pharma, etc. So that stock should also be in focus. And we did see names like Cadila Health hitting fresh 52-week highs. Syngene, ahead of its numbers, has hit a fresh 52-week high as well. And Dr. Reddy's from the frontliner, fresh lifetime high on that stock. It's been a big mover in the last many days. So those are a couple of stocks that you need to look at on the upside. On the downside, it's Gati that is reacting to its earnings. So that stock is down almost about 4%. Amtech Auto has come in for some profit taking. So has IFCI today. And Ashok Leyland is flat with a bit of a negative bias. But it's a good opening for the mid-caps, Lata. For the frontliners, it's absolutely flat. Anuj, any thoughts?
Yeah, so, unexpected lines, Sonia. It's about mid-caps right now. The Nifty, you just keep raising your stop losses if you have been in the Nifty long enough. Now, 8200 becomes your new stop loss, which was 8100 earlier, clearly. Market has a minor resistance around 8300. The big resistance would come at the 200-day moving average of 8380, 8400 thereabouts. The sense you get is that the uptrend has still not been broken. It will not be broken even if the Nifty goes back to 8200, though even the likelihood of that happening right now is quite low, and it's going to be about individual stocks. So advanced decline ratio is open firm, and my sense is that at some point there would be profit booking even in mid-cap names, but as of now there's no indication of that happening.
Okay, Siddharth, any other stock that is swimming into your radar at this point in time? You said that you will not short Vedanta. Do you want to change your mind? That one is down 1.5%. Tata Steel, where you correctly called a short, is down about 1%, 246 at this level. Any others? And would you want to buy on BPCL? You gave us a buy on HP.
No, I think HP, Shubham gave me
Shubham's buy. All right. Yeah. Any buys?
So I'm not really active in that space. Though the crude oil prices are decreasing, I'm not expecting same kind of buying of power which we saw in oil marketing companies few months back. That kind of momentum may not come. That doesn't mean one should not go long, but I don't see significant activity happening there from current levels. Oil and gas space I would avoid at this point of time. As I mentioned, Reliance is also not looking that great. ONGC is near to a very strong resistance of 260, 265. Keep eye on that resistance level. If it moves above that, then you would see significant upside in ONGC. Others, metal space, no, I would just refrain myself to Tata Steel. Vedanta is significantly high beta compared to Tata Steel, and don't want to take much of risk over there. Other spaces where I would try to nibble apart from the stock ideas which I gave would be some PSU banks here and there.
All right, Siddharth, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining us and talking about all those ideas. By the way, the market is now trading in the red, so the Nifty is down just about 9 odd points.